to have each other's back, all right? We will have each other's back, and if we have each other's back, we'll win this game. Let's go. Come on, Iowa. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
Moments ago, the Iowa Hawkeyes fired up in their locker room, and the NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. And we've got a first-round matchup coming up for you. The 6-seeded Iowa Hawkeyes take on Gonzaga, an 11 seed, but on their home floor here at the McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, Washington. Here's a look at the bracket. We're feeding the Spokane region from Spokane. The Iowa-Gonzaga winner will face the winner of our second game, UCLA and Montana, coming up a little bit later on. Well, Krista Blunt, let's check out your Star Watch.
Well, for Gonzaga, Courtney Vandersloot leads the nation in assists, and she's deceptively quick. On the other side, Kachine Alexander for Iowa is a matchup nightmare, just 5'9", but the top guard in rebounding.
Check out our Capital One starting lineups for our first game. The all-everything Courtney Vandersloot in her senior season. And also keep an eye on Caitlin Redmond, an outstanding trio of scorers. And for the Iowa Hawkeyes, you know about Kachine Alexander. You might not know about Jaime Printy, a marksman's eye, the leading scorer for the Hawkeyes, who finished tied for third in the Big Ten. And they will be taking on a Bulldogs team that has won 18 in a row. With Krista Blanc, I'm Mark Kestisher. Gonzaga, not your average 11 seed. They've won 18 in a row. They went undefeated in their conference, and they get the home floor here in the first round.
Yeah, a lot of advantages for this team, but Iowa is a team that feels like they've been looked past a little bit, maybe a little chip on their shoulder, and obviously they've had a very tough schedule in the Big Ten.
We are underway from Spokane, and the Bulldogs, who lead the nation in scoring at just over 86 a game. Krista, they like to go fast, and they like to even go a little faster.
They like to go fast. That's exactly why Iowa's in their zone. They're going to go with a zone defense. They'll match up. They'll go back into a 2-3 to try to slow things down.
Gonzaga missing on his first shot. They were also number 2 in the country in field goal percentage. And quickly, Iowa on the board. Jaime Printy on the inside.
Iowa's not afraid to push the tempo, but look at this tempo that Gonzaga would like to have. Even after a make, they look for a fast break opportunity.
Kelly Bowen will get to the line fouled, and that's really a key that Lisa Bluter was talking about. We make a basket. You can't even think for half a second about making that basket and enjoying it. You got to get back.
You're right. No celebration for that make, because Gonzaga will take it out of the net and immediately push it up with one pass. They'll be looking for a layup.
Kelly Krei picked up the foul, her first, and Kelly Bowen out of Victoria, Australia, at the free throw line. Gonzaga hasn't lost since the 29th of December, so they haven't lost in 2011. And they split on the free throws.
You will see Gonzaga mix up their defense more than any team that I have seen. They want to match up to start things off, and they got to get a hand out on that player, Kelly Krei.
They cannot let Kelly Krei have any daylight. She is a marksman out there, her 51st three-pointer. And on the other end, knocking down a three-pointer, Kayla Standish.
Kayla Standish is a player for Gonzaga that was always coming in off the bench, playing behind the leading scorer of the West Coast Conference, Heather Bowman, but she's taking advantage of her minutes this year.
Well, we were told that Bowen might be guarding Kachine Alexander, and that's been the early matchup. 44 for Gonzaga in blue and 21 for Iowa in gold. We'll keep an eye on that. There are a lot of cross matchups here going on.
Gonzaga has a lot of length, but their bigs at 6 feet, 6'2". They can play like guards and guard like guards.
Courtney Vandersloot, number 21, one of the heroes of the Zags team, and a rare turnover for the Bulldogs. Take a look at the head coach of Gonzaga, Kelly Graves, 6-time West Coast Conference Coach of the Year. And he is leading his club back to the NCAAs. They made it for the first time in 2007. Last year, an upset win over Texas A&M to reach the Sweet 16 for the first time.
Gonzaga has still gone with man-to-man defense. They are matching up, but they're a team that'll switch in and out of some matching zones. Don't be surprised if you see some traps and some pressure.
Lisa Bluter in her 11th season, like Kelly Graves. These two clubs met once before in Alaska, Great Alaska Shootout back in 2001. Both were in their second year as head coaches. And that game was won by Iowa. In fact, Gonzaga's never beaten a Big Ten team. 0-5 coming in. Off the inbound, Walleen knocks it down. A three-pointer for Camille Walleen.
These perimeter shots for Iowa, it creates a big plus for them because they actually feel they can exploit the interior with their big post inside Morgan Johnson. You hit some of those outside shots. Don't be surprised if Iowa looks in.
And don't be surprised if Vandersloot will take a shot now and then. Her coach called her a little too unselfish. She's so good at delivering passes. Now a little bit of a trap on Printy and taken away by Bowen. Here's Vandersloot, who's looking to pass, instead looks to score, and Courtney Vandersloot with the bucket. Yeah, Bowen right now all over Alexander, really has a lot of touches early. So Printy takes it inside again, and Vandersloot the rebound. The #1 scorer on the team feeds Bowen. And an offensive rebound by Beckering.
Don't see many mistakes from Gonzaga, a team that has the leading assist player, and she leads them in assist-to-turnover ratio. Tries to take it in right there, Courtney Vandersloot, number 21.
And Morgan Johnson with the block out of bounds.
This is what Courtney Vandersloot likes to do. She likes to go in, she'll take it all the way if she can, but then she's so good at kicking it back out. They have a lot of those bigs that can step out and shoot the three.
Gonzaga will get another shot. Last touch by Iowa out of bounds. You know, we talk all about Courtney Vandersloot and Gonzaga having this home court advantage, but, you know, there seemed like there maybe were a little nerves. It's not the average NCAA tournament appearance, not staying together in a hotel. I mean, these kids went to class yesterday, which is odd the day before an NCAA tournament game.
You're right. Different scenario. Gonzaga the last 2 years in a row have taken off and gone to Seattle, and they were going to the University of Washington. Now staying at home, it changes the routine a little bit.
Foul was called on Kelly Bowen, her first, so Iowa the other way, and Jaime Printy. Her brother Jordan played in the NCAA tournament last night. Both have outstanding range, and Iowa's got a 6-point lead.
Shoots at 38% behind the arc. Gonzaga, who's been matched up, and they put bigger players out on those shooting guards, may have to change things.
Kayla Standish knocking down the jumper from the corner. So a good start for both clubs from the field. Iowa, a perfect 3 for 3 from three-point range. Laline against Vandersloot. Printy down the lane, and Bowen reaching in. And if that's on Bowen, that'll be number 2. It is.
Kelly Graves is going to have to make some changes. They've gone in matchup number 44 right there. Kelly Bowen reaches in. She just gets caught standing and reaching. Gone with the matchup. Again, a team that is able to switch into a lot of different zones, mix it up. They've got to make some changes, and Bowen's got to play smart with those two persons.
Now Bowen's going to head out as Claire Rapp, the senior from here in the state of Washington, comes in. How much beneficial is it for Iowa? They played against the Penn States, who do play a fast game, much like Gonzaga. How much does that help?
I think it's a big plus, and especially the fact that they went on a nice run towards the end of regular season play. 5 wins in a row in Big Ten play, so you build some confidence there. But, you know, Coach Bluter said, hey, Gonzaga's won 18 in a row. That's a confidence builder. I don't care who you're playing.
They played against some really good point guards. Of course, Ohio State plays up tempo. Samantha Prahalis, but they are checking out Courtney Vandersloot with a 3, and now Kachine Alexander answering back with a bucket. Open from the corner for 3. No good for Beckering, and a putback in for Gonzaga.
That's one thing that concerned Lisa Bluter for Iowa. With the zone defense at times, they get caught kind of standing. They don't get matched up, and they don't keep Gonzaga off the offensive glass.
And Claire Rapp, who's had a nice renaissance season. Coach Graves telling us yesterday, maybe who's come the furthest from start of the year to right now and coming off the bench. And Alexander found some daylight on the baseline.
That time Gonzaga was in a zone D, and Alexander able to break it down. She's got great quickness.
We got to give credit to Iowa coming all the way out here, essentially playing a road game and really playing a good game early on.
This has been a difficult situation for them. The biggest travel for a 6th seed, and to have to play on Gonzaga's court, not easy.
Kelly Krei short on that 3. Last year, Iowa went to Stanford, to Palo Alto, so going west for the 2nd straight year. And there's a look at the passing ability of Gonzaga as Janelle Beckering finishes.
Iowa's plan coming in to slow this transition was to just send 2 players back immediately. That time they didn't get it. They had one back and one that was trying to get back, and instead it ends up being a layup for Gonzaga.
You know, I wonder if all those makes early, maybe, you know, just a half second. You know, they were used to hitting those shots, and that 3 was short.
It doesn't go and you get caught standing, then you realize, oh, I'm the player that's supposed to release back.
2 straight misses for Iowa from outside, and here come the Bulldogs. Vandersloot finds some inside room against Rolene and scores, and the Bulldogs have taken their first lead of the afternoon.
Courtney Vandersloot's getting his crowd into it as well. She's so deceptively quick.
Printy on the drive, contact, and a blocking call. Kayla Standish thought she had the charge, takes the block, but Courtney Vandersloot showing us how Gonzaga does it. Check out the passing ability, no look, 6-0 run. Bulldogs with the lead. Overcast day on the campus of Gonzaga University in Spokane. Gonzaga 6 straight points to take the lead, and Courtney Vandersloot has 7 points, a couple of rebounds, and an assist so far. And take a look at the all-time leader for Gonzaga.
Some impressive numbers. She's just 1 of 4 in the NCAA to have 1,000 points and 1,000 assists. She's very close to getting her 2,000th career point, and if she does that, coming into this one 44 points away, she'll be the only one to do that.
Yeah, right now 7 points so far, so 37 points away from the first 2,000 point, 1,000 assist career in women's college basketball history. And back to live action as Jaime Printy misses the first of 2 free throws. You know, it feels like Gonzaga has a bigger lead. I don't know if it's because of the crowd, but Iowa's only down a point here.
What I like about what Iowa's done so far is they haven't been afraid to push the tempo. Even though they're playing against a very fast team, they have looked to run when they've had those opportunities, and it's really caught the defense of Gonzaga off.
A free throw by Jaime Printy gives her 8 and a turnover. Now the officials will confer. We'll see. Brian Enterline, Shelly Nakasone, and James Morrell are officials. And they're going to give it to Gonzaga, which obviously makes the crowd happy. Let's take a look at it ourselves.
Thought it was possibly going to go off the knee of Beckering, but instead it was defender up top, Printy.
And off the inbounds now they turn it over as Vandersloot was trying to find Kayla Standish. The Iowa Hawkeyes 22-8 this year, had a 5-game win streak late in the season. Lost to Ohio State, a near backcourt, but a turnover anyway, and a 3-on-1. Vandersloot gets it by Alexander.
Gonzaga will occasionally come up and trap if you're not looking for it up in the corner, and they did it right there. Got the trap in the corner, and it led to that turnover in the layup.
And another one. Beckering got a hand in. Vandersloot pulls up. Another offensive rebound. Standish missing. Rapp gets a hand in, but she's last to touch. The active hands of Gonzaga.
Gonzaga doesn't show this trap every time down. So for Iowa, you've got to bring some wings up. You got to have your guards ready and prepared to help out this ball handler here if she needs it.
Callie Hansen in the game, number 3 in gold. Now in the lane. Alexander from the wing. And an offensive board for Johnson, who puts it back in.
Mark, we hadn't mentioned Morgan Johnson's name yet. Number 12, the big inside for Iowa. They wanted to try to get it to her more.
Beckering with a rainbow 3 and a nice long rebound. That's the 5th offensive rebound of the afternoon for Gonzaga.
Iowa now matching up. They've gone out of that zone, which was hurting them a bit.
Vandersloot, 3 more. She's got 12 points. Printy guarded awfully close by Redmond. There's a trap. In the corner, open is Hansen. And she knocks down a 3-pointer. So Callie Hansen off the bench helping out.
That's what you have to do for Iowa. Break down that zone. Swing the ball quickly. They do that. She's open and she hits it.
And Standish travels to turn it back over to Iowa in a tie game. Gonzaga and Iowa, an 11-6 matchup, living up to the billing early. Tied at 23 in this first round matchup. Crystal Blunt, let's go inside the play here.
Iowa has seen a lot of looks from Gonzaga. This time down, they saw the zone defense. You got 4 blue jerseys on the left side of the rim, and that means somebody's open on the other side. If you just work it quickly enough, they do. They find Callie Hansen down on that baseline, the 5'11" junior, and she hits it. They said this is a player that's had flashes of the wow factor, and right there, that will really take some confidence away from Gonzaga.
He's a good shooter off the bench. Only averages 2 points per game, but already over it with that three-pointer. And the three-point shooting has kept Iowa in this game, 4 of 7 so far.
Absolutely. Both teams shooting the ball so well. We expected this tempo and this pace. Neither team's been able to slow the other down yet.
Who does it benefit, this tempo?
You would think Gonzaga, because they do lead the nation in scoring, but I like that Iowa's getting it up just enough to kind of get a rhythm.
And Kachine Alexander, again, finding her way to the rim to give Iowa the lead. Caitlin Redmond with the dribble. And travels as she lifted up the pivot foot. So back-to-back traveling turnovers for Gonzaga.
A team that only turns it over 13 a game. They force 20 turns a game. Give some credit to this impressive defense from Iowa.
4 turnovers for the Bulldogs. And fouled is Trisha Nesbitt just in the game, number 11. They tried to trap her right in front of the Gonzaga bench. And Jasmine Redmond also into the game for the first time, picks up the foul. That is her first and the 4th team foul against Gonzaga.
Jasmine Redmond is a potential point guard player for this Gonzaga team once Courtney Vandersloot graduates this year.
And a bad turnover for Iowa, landed right in the arms of Caitlin Redmond, who finds Vandersloot. Another offensive rebound and a foul over the back against Iowa.
It's a 3-on-2 situation for Gonzaga. So many ball handlers on this team. They give it back to Courtney Vandersloot. She didn't quite have the angle, but following in, the bigs not able to keep this very long Caitlin Redmond out of there. At 6'1", she can handle the ball like a point guard.
Morgan Johnson picked up the foul, her first, and a missed free throw for Caitlin Redmond. Now some wholesale changes for Gonzaga. As Claire Rapp and Courtney Vandersloot going to get a little rest here after playing the first 9 minutes of the game.
They like to bring Jasmine Redmond into the game, the freshman point guard, and let her get warmed up a little bit with Courtney Vandersloot out on the court. And then they're able to take Courtney out and give her a breather.
Usually a pretty good free throw shooting team. 2 misses for the Bulldogs. 2-point game in Spokane and another Iowa turnover. Shot up won't go. Redmond the rebound. That was Jasmine Redmond off the Caitlin Redmond missed. Both from Spokane, no relation. Jasmine Redmond, as you pointed out, point guard number 34 in blue. Shannon Reeder on the floor for the first time, and she turns it over. Printy driving all the way down. Offensive foul. As foul number 1 on Jaime Printy. The NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship presented by Capital One continues on ESPN tonight. 6:30 Eastern regional coverage. You'll see either Utah, Notre Dame. We'll have Montana, UCLA, Hampton or Kentucky, UC Davis, and Stanford. ESPN, the exclusive home for the NCAA Women's Championship, and all games available on ESPN or ESPN2 and ESPN3.com.
Mark Stanford, the number 1 seed, playing on their home court. That's where Iowa had to go last year and face the Cardinals.
Well, this is their 4th straight trip to the NCAA tournament for Iowa. The last 3 years, they've been in the 8-9 game. They finally get a good seed, number 6. And Lisa Bluter quipped, I think the committee thought we were Idaho, not Iowa.
They have not been to the state of Washington for the tournament since 1991.
Well, Gonzaga loves to run. Jasmine Redmond with it in the corner. They look inside, and they find Kayla Standish for the bucket. Gonzaga back in front.
There was a mismatch defensively, and one of the smaller guards for Iowa got caught down low on one of the bigs, and Gonzaga saw it.
Now we get a little zone look from Gonzaga, the many different looks of the Bulldogs defense.
They will mix it up, and they will trap, and they get in those passing lanes.
They are long, and that's Janelle Beckering with the steal and the score. Timeout, Iowa. Another 6-0 Gonzaga run, and they're doing it with defense.
Starts with their D. That creates so much of their offense. They are a team that does not like to get caught in a half-court set. Hand in the passing lane by Janelle Beckering. All 6 feet of her. How about the 6-footer? Taking it down one-on-one and finishes.
7th turnover for Iowa. The NCAA Wrestling Championships conclude tonight in Philadelphia. You can catch the finals 7:30 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN3.com. For more information on this event and the Women's Basketball Championship, go to NCAA.com, the home for all 88 NCAA championships. And what a story in Philadelphia. Anthony Robles, who's a one-leg wrestler from Arizona State, is in the final of the 125-pound class. So if you have a chance, check it out. It's a great story.
That is just amazing, the heart that these kids have and the dedication and how they're able to just persevere above so many things, these student athletes, and what they're able to do.
Right here in Spokane with Krista Blunk, I'm Mark Kestisher. Had a great first half between Iowa and Gonzaga playing on the floor. They play on all year. They practice on all season long, and certainly have a crowd of about 6,000.
They come out of a timeout and they show some full court pressure. Iowa hadn't seen that yet.
Pauline with the runner. An offensive rebound for Johnson, who had it blocked by Standish. Vandersloot back on the floor. I'm sorry, she's still on the bench. Shannon Reeder holding, gets it back to Janelle Beckering.
Little different unit for Gonzaga, and that's something that Kelly Graves does so well. He goes to his bench, he rotates players in, gives them minutes.
We don't have too many late shot clock offense here, and with it winding down to 5, a miss. As Iowa tries to end the drought here. They're down 4 in over 3 minutes, almost 3.5 minutes without a point. Three-pointer up, no good for Printy. Loose ball in the lane. Jasmine Redmond turns the other way.
Mark, Iowa does an excellent job with their quick passes. If they hit those shots, it's going to hurt Gonzaga.
There's another quick pass, but Shannon Reeder couldn't finish. Waiting for Kachine Alexander to really get going. She has hit 3 of her first 4.
Morgan Johnson, number 12 for Iowa, is working hard in the low block. She wants the ball down low.
Turnover number 8 for the Iowa Hawkeyes in the first half. They're down 4, 7:50 to go.
Welcome back to Spokane. You're watching the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship.
We thank the Gonzaga cheerleaders. A 6-0 Gonzaga run with Courtney Vandersloot on the bench.
Well, that's got to make you feel good, but they've done some amazing things with her on the court as well. It's nice for Gonzaga to know they can do it with or without her. It has been starting with the defense, and that has been creating their offense. One-on-one, she's not afraid to get physical and take it in. Up and under move, she's worked so hard on trying to get the ball up in different ways, and as soon as there's a steal, she takes off running. And she knows how to finish. And then up top, reads the D. Watch the guard go behind the screen. And when a guard does that to you and you're a shooter, you're going to step up and take it.
And with the confidence of Courtney Vandersloot, she's been making it. There you see 12 points, couple of rebounds. This is a tough spot for Iowa. They've been struggling. They have 8 turnovers, 5 in the last 4 minutes in which they've been held scoreless. And a rebound by Kachine Alexander, who's the best rebounder for any guard in the nation. Just has a knack for getting rebounds.
Well, Mark, if Iowa cleans things up just a little bit, they're doing all the things they need to do at both ends, defensively forcing Gonzaga to be in the half-court set. You just got to hit those jumpers.
Kelly Krei knocking down her second three-pointer of the afternoon, and despite the 8 turnovers, they're only down 1. Oh, a defensive breakdown as Kelly Bowen gets the pass from Vandersloot.
Iowa, everyone kind of looking at each other, and Bowen just kept going to the hoop.
Kelly Bowen, who had sat down with 2 personals, back in. Much of the first team on the floor for Gonzaga. They go inside for Krei, who's fouled in the lane, and she'll get to the line.
This is the tempo, the push. Vandersloot hesitates for 1 second. That allows her to make that defender come up to her, and she knows she's got an open teammate. She can just see things that a lot of guards just don't see out there.
Well, she's got all the numbers to be called the greatest point guard in the entire nation. Last year really did not finish the NCAA tournament the way she wanted to, was in foul trouble, though they got to the Sweet 16. But of course at Gonzaga, the home of John Stockton, she's had a chance to meet him a few times.
Well, she worked out with him a season ago, and he showed her how to create and have some different deliveries of the basketball, and also ways, kind of tricky ways to get your shot off differently. And we've seen her do some up and unders, readjustments. There's one right there.
And just the footwork, looking at the footwork on that change. She was trying to find a shot for someone and a stutter step and saw nothing there and just went to the basket.
Yes, the hesitation that she has so often is what will cause problems. And he worked with her, John Stockton did, on that hesitation, changing the deliveries, because it forces the D to hesitate a moment as well. And that will lead you some openings. And
you know John Stockton would be here today, but his son David is the point guard for the Gonzaga men's team. Will be playing later, but he's been a big fan of Kelly Graves. Gonzaga Bulldogs 28-4 and have the home floor here for the start of the women's NCAA tournament.
Iowa the last time down, they went into their 6'5" sophomore Morgan Johnson. They wanted to try to exploit her there. She's number 12. They tried it again. That pass forced just a little bit too much. 9th
turnover. Vandersloot takes it all the way. A little too strong off the spin. I think she thought there was contact as she looks back to the baseline official. Another Iowa turnover and a foul to compound the problem. Morgan Johnson with her second.
Lisa Bluder's team knows they have an advantage with the size of Morgan Johnson, number 12. But the pass was off the defense of Kelly Bowen as she steps up top D, gets a hand in that passing lane. They tried to go high to Johnson the time before that time, the bounce pass. Just not in her hands.
You know, Krista, my first reaction is you're compounding a problem off a turnover, but the way Gonzaga runs, maybe that's a better play.
Well, you know, that's the thing, you know, Lisa Bluder had said about her team. She wants to try to keep Gonzaga in the half court if they can, and maybe it does slow things down a little bit.
And an offensive foul against Gonzaga. Claire Rapp, as she tried to set Vandersloot free, picks up her first, and that is the 6th team foul in the half against the Zags.
Coach Bluder also said for Iowa, they want to keep this game close. Gonzaga has dominated their conference so many games in a row.
That one a rare misstep for Courtney Vandersloot as she took advantage of a 10th Iowa turnover, but couldn't keep control of it out of bounds.
Iowa, a team that takes care of the ball fairly well, just 15 turns per game, but the defense for Gonzaga, they force 20 a game. It's caused them some problems yet right in this ball game.
Chris, you just made a great point. Gonzaga does not play close games. They haven't had a tight game in a long time. And a tied possession. This one's going to go to Gonzaga. The passing of Iowa has really short-circuited their offense. The passes have just not been crisp, or they've been a little too long where the ball just can't get there.
And I don't think we talk about Gonzaga's defense enough. This is the team that leads the nation in scoring, so you think about them so often with just their offense, but the offense is because of their defense.
Well, they've got 12 first-half turnovers, yet they're only down 2. Beckering with the shot, and a foul called against Gonzaga on the baseline, and Janelle Beckering, that is her first. And that is team foul number 7, so Iowa's going to get some free throws, at least one free throw, a one-shot bonus now for the Hawkeyes.
Iowa had matched up. They got their bodies on Gonzaga, a team that loves to just crash the offensive glass. Kelly Graves' team so aggressive, but that time Iowa did an excellent job in bodying out and drawing the foul and getting some free throws.
And with just under 5 minutes to go in the first half, they could take advantage of that. 76% free throw shooting team, and Camille Waline hits the first.
Waline, an all Big Ten honorable mention this past season, plays the point for Iowa, but isn't really a true point guard.
And she'll head to the bench as Trisha Nesbitt comes back in. Kachine Alexander awaiting Courtney Vandersloot. It's a tough matchup for Alexander. She knocks the ball free, but Vandersloot gets it and now takes her baseline into a double team. Here's Rapp with the jumper, in and out. It was halfway down. Four and a half minutes to go first half in a 6-11 matchup. Krei, Printy nearly had it taken away. And now contact and a whistle against Gonzaga. As Kachine Alexander hit the floor, now she'll get a chance to go to the line.
The zone from Gonzaga had sort of hedged up high in the lane, and Kachine Alexander saw that baseline wide open. Nobody for Gonzaga able to slide down and cut off that baseline. She's going to get some free throws.
And they called it a non-shooting foul, so we'll go 1-and-1 here for Kachine Alexander. Knocks down the first one. She struggled in the Big 10 quarterfinals. She had a Jantel Lavender on her. Lavender will make a lot of people struggle. Alexander had a 2 for 15.
You're right, but this is a special player, Kachine Alexander.
Splitting the free throws, and here comes Vandersloot. And all of a sudden, those shots not going down, but great offensive rebounding in the first half. Look at the passing. Turnaround knocked down by Caitlin Redmond.
It's all about getting the pass to who you want to get it to before the defense gets a chance to recover back.
Back and forth game here in Spokane. We've had 5 ties, 4 lead changes, and another turnover against Iowa. 3:46 to go first half in a 1-point game. Back in Spokane, Iowa's down 1, and that's good news because they've had a baker's dozen of turnovers in the first half so far.
You're right. They've only given up 8 points off those turnovers, though. It feels like a little bit more, but this is the style that Gonzaga wants. They come out with a high trap, forces the pass. They get low defensively, get the hands on it, and it's out on the break. Sagging in with their defense for the help side. The trap has been very effective from all areas of the court, up in the corners, up high. But it's all about the length. They have so many bigs. You can see Beckering at 6 feet, just a hand out in the passing lane.
Lisa Bluter's Iowa Hawkeyes, there you see the season average. So they're 1.5 turnover behind what they do in an entire 40 minutes. As Lisa Bluter and Brian Esterline, one of the officials, talk it over, and Courtney Vandersloot will bring it up here with 3:40 to go in the half.
She's probably talking to him about one of those last offensive fouls that they called on her as Vandersloot fell down, or they said was knocked down, and she was not happy about that call.
Yeah, another rare turnover off of the travel, and Iowa will bring it back. So despite all the turnover issues, Iowa with a chance to take the lead here. Kelly Krei holding. Wallina's open for the 3. Some contact there, no call. Alexander with her second offensive rebound, and she misses again. How about 3 offensive rebounds, even though possession goes the other way?
That's just pure effort from Alexander.
She's only 5'9". And another turnover by Gonzaga via travel.
You would think with this kind of pace for Gonzaga that they would be a team that would potentially turn it over more, but Kelly Graves' team, they are so disciplined. It doesn't hurt when you have the leader in the nation in assists as well, Courtney Vandersloot.
Told you about the 13 Iowa turnovers, now 8. Make that 9 Gonzaga turnovers in the first half. Kachine Alexander trapped in the corner. Heady move to knock it off with a foot of Kelly Bowen to keep possession with 16 to shoot.
Bowen and Beckering both at 6 feet. Got her down in the corner. She's only 5'9". The length of Gonzaga is so tough to go up against, especially for some of these smaller guards for Iowa.
Got the old backdoor pass saved by Hansen, and Iowa will get it back. 10 to shoot. 2:35 to go in the half. Krei from the corner. Knocks it down. That is her 3rd 3-pointer of the first half, and Iowa's 7th. The other way. Redmond can't finish inside. So here come the Hawkeyes with a 2-point lead and possession. Cermak in the game, number 22 in gold. Now a more deliberate pace for Iowa. Outside open is Cermak, and Kelsey Cermak knocks down a 3. How about the 3-point shooting of the Iowa Hawkeyes to offset those 13 turnovers?
They were second in the Big Ten, averaging 7 threes per game, and they have been on in this one. That's really what's kept them in this ball game. You got to hit them. They've had the openings, and they've been able to connect.
1:59 to go in the half, and be sure to join Trey Wingo, Kara Lawson, Carolyn Peck, the Home Depot halftime report. They'll catch up on all the day's NCAA Women's Championship action, including the 8-9 game between St. John's and Texas Tech. Also, what's going on in the Temple Arizona State game, and Fresno State and North Carolina as we open the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship right here on ESPN2, and we'll have it all over ESPN3.com all the way through the championship on our ESPN family of networks.
The big difference in this ball game right now, it's been quick passing, working it around. The defense has been sagging, so they've had some three-point looks, and they have connected 7 of 13 behind the arc for Iowa.
Kelly Krei has 3 of those 7. You just saw Kelsey Cermak off the bench hit one, and Vandersloot not able to finish after getting by Alexander. Back and forth we go. Courtney Vandersloot, who has had a couple of struggles here, finds an open Jasmine Redmond, but that won't fall. Welcome those of you watching other games around the nation here in Spokane. The Iowa Hawkeyes with 13 first-half turnovers, but 7 three-pointers, a 5-point lead over Gonzaga. Krista, they've been able to overcome all the errors in the first half.
They have. It's felt as though it has been Kelly Graves' game for his team, but Lisa Bluder's club wasn't going to back down. She knew if they could just keep it close, they had a chance to win this one, and they just chipped away little by little at all the different defenses that they saw from Gonzaga. Spotting up on the 3, and the key with that is you just got to hit some of them, and they have.
Kelly Krei knocking down both free throws after Janelle Beckering picked up her second, so we have 8 straight Iowa points. Been a back-and-forth game. Courtney Vandersloot, the nation's top point guard, now taking it into her own hands, and with a left hand lays it in. 16 in the first half for Vandersloot. Kachine Alexander, who's had to cover Vandersloot defensively, might have taken a toll on her offense. Laline missing on a long 3 and chased down by Janelle Beckering.
This is where Iowa wants Gonzaga. Force them into a half-court set. Do not let them get out on the break.
Turnaround on the baseline won't go down for Redmond. Both these teams will go fast. Gonzaga, the highest scoring team in the nation. Iowa doesn't mind going fast either. Here's a runner for Cermak, and it gets the roll. Some big points for Kelsey Cermak off the Iowa bench here in the last few minutes.
Stepped in just a little bit. That's also something Iowa tried to attack a little bit more in the lane late here in the first half.
Shot clock is off for the first half. Courtney Vandersloot, who's got an array of moves. Let's see what she's got here for Kachine Alexander. Into the lane, tries an up and under. Missed the shot, got it back. Put back up. And Iowa, despite 13 first-half turnovers, with a 7-point first-half lead. Kelly Krei with 12 to lead the way. So it is Iowa 44, Gonzaga 37. Let's go to Trey Wingo, the Home Depot halftime report.
The NCAA Women's Championship is brought to you by the new Audi A8.
The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. We're in beautiful Spokane, Washington, and at the half, Iowa with a 7-point lead over Gonzaga. Welcome back inside the McCarthy Athletic Center with Krista Blanc. I'm Mark Kestisher. 13 first-half turnovers, but 3-point shooting for Iowa has them in the lead.
It definitely did. 7 threes for Iowa. They stayed patient, they kept the game close, and they took advantage of that defense of Gonzaga's.
Let's take a look at some of these 3-pointers for Iowa that put them in the lead.
The defense for Gonzaga sags quite a bit. They take some chances with the traps, and when you do that, if you're Iowa, that leaves some wide open teammates. You just have to connect on the threes. 5 different players connecting behind the arc. And if you're Gonzaga, you've got to make some adjustments on that. Your defense has to help and recover back a little bit quicker.
Let's take a look at the bracket. The We're in Spokane. This is part of the Spokane Regional, so even after the first 2 rounds, they'll come back here for a regional next week. The Iowa-Gonzaga winner will get either UCLA or Montana on Monday. We'll have that Bruins-Grizzlies matchup coming up a little bit later on ESPN2. See Xavier, also the 2 seed, Stanford the 1 seed as well. Let's take a look at the first half stats. You know about the Iowa shooting from 3-point range. But look at the Gonzaga steals. They just haven't been able to take advantage.
They haven't turned them into points. They forced 13 turnovers, but only 8 points off of it. Free throw shooting as well. Iowa's been aggressive. They've gotten to the line 12 times, just 4 attempts for Gonzaga. You might think 41% is pretty good shooting for Gonzaga, but when on the season you shoot at 50%, that's down quite a bit.
Yeah, down almost 10 percentage points in the first half. And though Courtney Vandersloot's numbers with 16 points and 3 assists seem okay. Obviously, the assists are below her average for the half. Also had a couple of turnovers, very uncharacteristic.
This is a player. She has 3 assists in the first half. She averages 10 assists per game, leads the nation, and she also leads in assist to turnover ratio. She has almost 3 assists to her 1 turnover, and now she's already got a couple of turns. So just some areas that they need to clean up. They will make some adjustments.
A reminder, the skate toward the Frozen Four is about to begin. You could join John Buchagras, Barry Melrose, Sean Richland. They'll unveil the Division I men's ice hockey field tomorrow morning, 11:30 Eastern on ESPN2. And you can find out information on every championship at NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. So it feels like a critical start to the second half for Gonzaga, even though they're on their home floor. Crowd hasn't been as nuts as they normally are here for Gonzaga because they have seen the Bulldogs fall behind late in the first half, even though Courtney Vandersloot tried to get them going there at times.
You know, Mark, Iowa did all the things that Lisa Bluder wanted her team to do. They did turn it over, but they didn't let those turnovers turn into points. They kept the game close. They forced Gonzaga into those half-court sets as often as they could, and then they worked the ball around and tried to work it inside to get that inside-outside presence.
Kelly Bowen gets called for an early foul here, 8 seconds in, so that's her 3rd. And you know Iowa had to be fired up in the locker room, and Alexander, the diminutive 5'9" guard with 8 first-half rebounds, nearly came up with an offensive board there. Inside, they find Kayla Standish, who puts it in.
Standish had a one-on-one and used her body so well, put that hand in the air to let her teammates know where she wanted it.
Printy missing on the outside jumper. Vandersloot all the way to the free throw line. Wide open Beckering, and a big triple for Janelle Beckering after Gonzaga struggled on the 3-point shot in the first half.
And Mark, that gets this crowd into it a little bit. You can see Courtney Vandersloot taking her arm. She wants the crowd to help them out. They were very quiet thanks to Iowa and what they did late in the first half.
Elaine steps back on the arc, and her pass deflected out by Kayla Standish and those long arms you referenced in the first half.
Standish at 6'2", she can play up to 4 different positions out on the court. She's had double figures now, 28 of their 32 games coming into this one.
Elaine picked up by Beckering. Krei, who's had a good afternoon from 3, missing there. Standish the save, but right to Johnson, who'll get an offensive rebound and miss from point blank. And an Iowa foul. Wow, 2 big mistakes. One by Gonzaga to save it underneath the basket, and then also missing a point-blank shot by Iowa.
I was just thinking the same thing, Mark. You don't want to save it under the opponent's bucket. She threw it right into the hands of Morgan Johnson. I think she might have missed that one just because she was probably so surprised it was right in her hands as well.
And she picks up Morgan Johnson. That is her 3rd personal. So Johnson and Bowen each with 3. Vandersloot holds up top. Knocked out by Alexander, and Gonzaga will keep it with 6 to shoot. Alexander didn't think she touched it last, and Lisa Bluder also on the Iowa bench thinking that wasn't the right call. He's trying to buy it. 5 to shoot, Vandersloot. Long 3, well off the window. And they'll say play on after the shot clock buzzer went off following the change of possession. Printy fighting Johnson on the baseline. Tipped away by Vandersloot. Nobody will catch her. 18 for Courtney Vandersloot, and we are tied.
Defense creating offense for Gonzaga, and now the crowd is getting involved.
A 7-0 run to start the second half has them on their feet in Spokane.
The 4-2 features the Montana Grizzlies and the NCAA Bulldogs, who start approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game.
A Saturday afternoon in downtown Spokane, and Gonzaga has tied Iowa, Krista, with a great start to the second half.
Yeah, probably not happy with the way things ended in the first half. So they start to go inside a little bit, the high-low, and then penetration to kick it out to the make there by Beckering, and then that's that defense. Pounding, overplay, aggressive, matched up one-on-one, and Courtney Vandersloot with the finish.
Gonzaga's hit 3 of its first 4 shots to start the second half, and Iowa in possession 0 for 4 in the second half. Kachine Alexander taking Bowen baseline. Get an open 3 for Printy, and she knocks it down.
That's what you have to do. Take that timeout, settle everybody down, and then do what you did earlier that got you that lead. You penetrate in, and you kick it over with that fast pass outside.
Quieted the crowd momentarily, Krista, until Vandersloot got fouled. And I believe Kachine Alexander will get called for her first person.
A little bit of a late whistle that time. Some of the Iowa fans, they've tried to make the trip. They don't have as many as they would have hoped. It's a long way from Iowa City, Iowa, but nonetheless, Courtney Vandersloot, that's one thing she does well, is uses her body. She draws a lot of fouls. Some Iowa fans.
Some have made the trip to the West Coast, the inland Northwest here in Eastern Washington, and Vandersloot knocks down the free throw. She's got 20. Here comes some pressure.
This trap and this pressure is what caused Iowa so many problems in the first half and forced those 13 turnovers.
That's a nice press break, though. The Gonzaga fans wanted to travel. Printy behind the back. Twice behind the back in the drive. And Bowen rips down the board. Vandersloot, so good with that change of pace.
Vandersloot has Kachine Alexander guarding her right now, and Coach Krei said if we do that, then we're going to try to get to our bigs, get to the post. That's what they did.
Beautiful post move by Kayla Standish, who's up to 12 points. Well, whatever Kelly Graves said at halftime, I believe his team has bought in. Here's another three-pointer. That one won't go down for Printy. She has unlimited range. Vandersloot switching hands, but can't come up with the basket. Out of bounds to Iowa.
Vandersloot again trying to draw the contact as she leaned in against Waline. She wanted the foul call, and so did Kelly Graves.
Krista, you made a good point in the first half, talking about close games, because Gonzaga's won 18 straight. They haven't lost since we turned to January of this year. Their average margin of victory in this win streak is 25 points a game. They're 2-4 in games decided by 10 or less, so a big test for Gonzaga if this stays close.
Well, you're right, and Coach Bluter said, I told Kelly Graves, hey, we're going to try to keep it close. You guys aren't used to that.
Big turnaround here as Gonzaga had the loose ball and then turned into an Iowa player and lost it, and a foul will put Iowa at the line.
Bringing the ball down, Courtney Vandersloot. It looked like she was, again, that's the first instinct. She turns to get ready to get out on that break, but didn't really have that rebound solidly in her hands, and Iowa wasn't giving up on the play, just hanging out.
Vandersloot picks up her first, and Printy missing on a free throw. Told you her brother Jordan played in the NCAA tournament last night with Indiana State. Her parents, they usually split. One would go to Cleveland to see the Sycamores. One would come here, but they couldn't find a reasonably priced flight. So both parents were in Cleveland, and we're told Jeff and Kelly Printy are trying to watch this game in Joliet, Illinois on their way back home to Iowa.
Jamie and Jordan, they are so close. They used to work out together in their driveway when they were kids.
How about Vandersloot with the basket as she goes into Kelly Krei, who picks up the foul, and they love it here in Spokane. Courtney Vandersloot goes for a three-point play.
been back and forth, and Gonzaga trying to get their leading scorer open. Courtney Vandersloot, you're going to see a high screen set for her, and she uses it. Cash Alexander gets caught behind, and Courtney Vandersloot reads it perfectly. She just keeps curling and all the way in.
Kayla Standish taking out 2 Iowa players on that screen, and Courtney Vandersloot with a 3-point play as Gonzaga, once down 7, now has a 3-point lead. 23 for Vandersloot. Walleen to Johnson, who puts it in.
Iowa had the numbers. They have not been afraid to push this tempo, even though that's exactly what Gonzaga wants to do. When they've had the numbers, it's been effective.
Redmond feeding Standish. A little turnaround jump goes down for Kayla Standish. Gonzaga much more efficient on offense so far in the second half.
There were a lot of shots that they missed that they probably shouldn't have. Maybe it's a little bit of jitters to get things started. They really weren't able to get this crowd into it. Much different feel from them here in this second.
Well, Jaime Printy was thinking about that from 5 feet behind the arc. We're told sometimes in practice she'll hit jumpers from outside the boundaries and has to be told, you know, you were out of bounds. Here's Printy, and a block foul will get Jaime Printy to the line. They don't like it here in Spokane. The NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship, presented by Capital One, continues on ESPN2 tomorrow. Noon Eastern, regional coverage of the first round. You'll see either Hartford take on Maya Moore and UConn, Vanderbilt versus Louisville. Gardner-Webb will face Miami. St. Francis will meet Maryland. ESPN, the exclusive home of the NCAA Women's Championship. And Jen Rosati in Hartford, great run in the America East. And guess what? You get to find your former mentor, Gino Auriemma, and UConn, the top seed.
Yeah.
And Cash Alexander will go to the line, a chance at a 3-point play.
Cash Alexander is the energy for this Iowa team. The pass almost intercepted, and that kind of throws the D out from Gonzaga, and Alexander just doesn't stop. She keeps going, gets her the and one.
Vandersloot picking up her second personal foul. And Cash Alexander, Kachine Alexander, everyone calls her Cash but Mom. Told us yesterday when she hears her mom call her Kachine, she's wondering who's calling me. She's not used to answering to that name.
Well, she's quite the character for this team, one of the few seniors for Iowa.
That 3-point play has tied the game at 53. Behind a screen, nice short jumper by Caitlin Redmond.
Redmond's been very quiet. She averages 17 points per game. She's been so quiet in this game. She's a player I think really has to step up right now for Gonzaga.
There's Printy cut off on the baseline by Redmond. Now Hansen trapped. Drives the baseline and scored. Nice move by Callie Hansen.
Gonzaga was matched up man to man. The help side, nobody slid over into the lane.
Beautiful pass by Vandersloot. They couldn't convert. Claire Rapp can't either. And a whistle against Gonzaga underneath. And that's going to be number 4. It is Kelly Bowen with her 4th personal foul. Still 14:09 to go.
She's had a big task in this game to guard a much smaller, quicker player in Kachine Alexander the majority of this outing. And now she's going to have to sit with the 4 personals. Alexander with such quickness. Kelly Graves taking some chances using the length of his bigs at 6 feet, those wings that can play like guards at times.
Here's Printy off the Alexander pass. And in transition, Iowa did have 3 back. Beckering walks as she looked to make her move. I think she could have had an open shot from out there if she wanted it.
She got there. She got the pass very quickly. And Kelly Graves shaking his head saying, do what we know how to do. Take the shot. Don't try to do too much.
Last couple of years, Kelly Graves and Gonzaga playing in Seattle across the state. And now they have the home floor for the first round. And he seemed a little nervous yesterday, at least admitted to a few jitters.
Yeah, he said, you know, I got up, I drove my own car over. It's a different kind of routine than you would normally have in the NCAA tournament.
Another opportunity at a 3, and Camille Walleen knocks it down. Now contact between Vandersloot and Alexander, no call. And here come the Zags. Vandersloot. Nice block out by Johnson. Her outlet pass nearly stolen. Would have been a ragged play here. Printy, no look. Alexander puts it in.
Scrappy and aggressive. A crazy sequence. And Iowa gets the numbers and finishes.
Timeout on the floor called by Gonzaga. Bodies flying inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. Watch this collision.
Now these are the 50-50 balls. Who's going to get it? Vandersloot and Kachine Alexander. And even though Gonzaga gets it back and it looks as though they have the numbers, Iowa doesn't give up on it. They get it back and they score.
7-0 Iowa run. They led by 7 at half. Gonzaga stormed back to take the lead. And now the Hawkeyes have it back. I guess what you'd expect from a 6-11 Gonzaga, an 11 seed. We said off the top, not your average 11 seed. Not only playing at home, but after a walk through the West Coast Conference at 14-0, winners of 18 straight. A very tight matchup between the Iowa Hawkeyes, who were in a 4-way tie for third in the Big Ten, and Gonzaga, which dominated the WCC this year.
Well, and Lisa Bluter, the head coach for Iowa, before this game, she said, you know, she told her team, we have to have each other's backs. Yesterday in practice, she said, it is in yourself. It's not about the seed. It's not about Gonzaga. It's not about being here. It's about what you guys know how to do.
There's a trap set. Dangerous pass in the middle and turned over. Printy looking to run. She's looking for Walleen and then has it stripped by Jasmine Redmond. Did they call the foul? No, out of bounds.
Iowa has been very selective on pushing the ball, but they've had their chances and it's really been effective. They push the tempo. This is a team that averages 71 points per game. They only allow 63 per game, so a strong defensive team.
Printy looking. Callie Hansen against Claire Rapp up high. Printy against Vandersloot with 15 to shoot. Crowd exhorting defense. From the baseline, Johnson misses. And Gonzaga will look to run. And a whistle away from the ball underneath. Going to go against Iowa. Coverage of the Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues today on CBS, TBS, and TNT. And for more information on game times and listings, go to NCAA.com. Morgan Johnson picking up the foul, and she'll head to the bench. That is number 4 on Morgan Johnson. So both bigs with 4 fouls. Inside, it's Kayla Standish getting Gonzaga within 3.
That hurts Iowa to take the size of Morgan Johnson at 6'5" out of there. So a much smaller lineup for the Hawkeyes. And if you're Gonzaga, you're going to, I'm assuming, go in and look to your bigs a little bit more.
And Alexander trying to save it on the baseline, steps out of bounds. There's a look at Morgan Johnson, the 6'5" sophomore with 4 personals. Big-time scorer, shoots at 48% from the field. She's also a big-time shot blocker. She forces teams to make adjustments and changes. That hurts this Iowa defense. Jasmine Redmond back to Vandersloot. Nearly stripped by Alexander. Has had a tough defensive assignment today, and she's done well. This is for the tie.
Mark, Iowa's success defensively has been from their man-to-man, that time down without Johnson in there. They go back to a zone defense, and Gonzaga makes it hurt.
Janelle Beckering shooting over that zone. Tied at 60 with 11 and a half minutes to go. Who will advance to round 2? Vandersloot with a steal. Vandersloot stripped by Alexander. She's been playing some nice defense.
She got back. She had a one-on-one situation and just kept her hands up.
Kelsey Cermak, number 22 in gold, coming in with Morgan Johnson in some foul trouble. As Iowa spreads the floor. A block by Standish. So long, so lean. Vandersloot. An offensive foul as she shed the defender. That is her 3rd. What a game we got brewing in Spokane. Janelle Beckering ties the game with that 3-pointer. Timeout. Hawkeyes cheerleaders making the trip from Iowa City. What a game we have, and some opportunistic defense, Krista, for Gonzaga lately.
Gonzaga takes some chances with their D at times, but when you see the help side from Standish on this one, she drops over just enough against a much smaller player trying to take a shot who thinks, oh, the player guarding me is gone, I'll take this jumper. And instead, there's Standish waiting for it with the shot block. So help side recover. It's been a little more effective this second half for Gonzaga. They struggled a bit taking some chances earlier in the first.
Standish with part of the 3 block shots for Gonzaga. Iowa breaks its huddle with 2 blocks so far. Tied at 60, 10:41 to go. At stake, a chance to play in the second round game here in Spokane on Monday. Courtney Vandersloot for that timeout, 3rd foul. Keep an eye on that. Jaime Printy with the up fake. Moline. Printy will launch a deep 2 and knock it down. It's very quiet here, and now they'll perk up again as Kayla Standish ties the game. Maybe some nervousness from the folks in Spokane here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Beckering giving Printy about 5 feet. And she'll take it from out there. Little runner. Inside, strong rebound by Beckering to rip it away. Vandersloot inside to Redmond. Her shot won't go, but she keeps it on the offensive board. Wide open. Courtney Vandersloot knocks down the 3. We've had 11 ties, now 9 lead changes.
Caitlin Redmond, she's had a tough outing in this game so far, but she draws a lot of defenders. They were all down for Iowa, and back-to-back, both teams connect.
Jaime Printy tying the game with that 3-pointer. Our 12th tie, 17 for Printy.
Mark, that's what you have to do. These teams are doing what they have to do. Good defense at both ends, so there's some openings, and you have to hit those shots, and both of these teams are doing that.
Kayla Standish knocking down the baseline jumper. So back and forth we go in Spokane, under 9 minutes to play in this first round matchup. Moline into the lane. And Cermak missing on the jumper. Vandersloot's been just about everywhere. She's handled the scoring, the rebounding, as you would expect from a senior. Claire Rapp. 10 to shoot. Good job by Iowa defensively. Vandersloot. Offensive board. Standish.
Vandersloot took a chance. She kind of looked to her left to make sure she had a teammate down there to get on the offensive glass. She went ahead and put it up. She thought, I'll either get the contact or my teammate will bail me out, and Standish did.
Standish with 20. Vandersloot has 26. They've got 46 of the 69. And a rebound by Beckering off the Iowa miss. Starting to feel like a crucial time for Iowa.
This crowd feels it as well, and they're getting up on their feet.
Claire Rapp from the elbow. Looking for Standish, but well defended by Cermak. 7 to shoot. Deep 3. And rebounded by Krei on the baseline. I think that would have brought the house down if she knocked that one down.
Oh, she was way outside. They have some range. Speaking of range, got that one from Printy.
Usually got the green light on those too. And now a timeout called by Gonzaga. Well, it seems like the shots are going down for the Bulldogs. Haven't been going down for Iowa lately. And Kelly Graves talking to his team with a 4-point lead. The NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship presented by Capital One continues on ESPN2 tonight. 6:30 Eastern regional coverage of the first round. You'll see either 2-seed Notre Dame against Utah. We've got UCLA and Montana right here in Spokane, also Kentucky, Hampton, Stanford, UC Davis, your matchups, ESPN, the exclusive home of the NCAA Women's Championship. Looking forward to UCLA and Montana, two teams that love to play D. Montana's a great story with their run through the Big Sky Conference to win it on the road to get here to Spokane.
Absolutely. Very happy to be there. And we take a look at our Star Watch update. Courtney Vandersloot, 26 points, 7 rebounds. And Kachine Alexander, the top guard as far as rebounding goes in the country. She's got 9 boards, 12 points. She's been held down a little bit here in this second half. The defense honing in on her.
Crossing 7 minutes to go. Redmond knocks down the mid-range jumper. And the 6-point lead is the biggest of the afternoon for Gonzaga.
Redmond now with 8 points. She averages 17 per game. This crowd's trying to be a factor.
Well, lean against Vandersloot. Her pass knocked off. Claire Rapp, who gets the feed from Vandersloot and puts it in. And as the lead grows to 8, Lisa Bluter says we need a timeout.
This has not been the situation in this game. It has been very close. There haven't been a lot of big runs. So Gonzaga gets out on one, and Lisa Bluter says we need a break. Overplay, taking chances with the defense. Claire Rapp stepped out, just stuck her hand out, and then she gets out on a break. Claire Rapp at 5'11", one of the seniors for this team, and there's another one, Courtney Vandersloot.
26 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. That was number 6 for Vandersloot. And a 17-5 Gonzaga run. That Carter Schick's head out there in the background I just saw?
It is. Carter Schick, we talk about seniors. She's another senior. She was a walk-on to this team. And they love her. She's kind of the character, that the teammate that keeps the team loose out there.
And here's the teammate that keeps them winning, Courtney Vandersloot. That's up to date with 1,084 assists.
And all 3 above her had 1,000 points as well. Those 4 the only ones in NCAA tournament, in NCAA play to do so.
Well, lean on the drive, off the timeout, can't score. Vandersloot finding Beckering for 3. Twice she's had a chance to blow the lid off the place.
And there's Kachine Alexander again with the rebound. She has excellent awareness and knowing where that ball is going to go. And how about a quick bucket now? Coming back for Kelly Krei.
Kelly Krei, who's had a nice afternoon. 4 3-pointers, 15 points. That's a huge one to get the Hawkeyes back within 5.
That is something that Iowa's done so well. They've hit those shots when they've had the open looks. They've been able to connect.
Kayla Standish has been outstanding in the second half. Almost unstoppable.
Again, a player that over the last couple of years played behind Heather Bowman, the leading scorer all time in the WCC. She's really taken advantage of her minutes this year.
Alexander, nice basket over the tough defense of Caitlin Redmond. Little pace now for Vandersloot, who rushes into the front court. Redmond in and out. Offensive board to Rapp, who turns and fires. I'll tell you, they just go fast and faster. They're pulling out to take another 35 seconds off.
You're right. Most teams definitely would have used that entire shot clock, but that's not the case. Gonzaga does not like to have to sit in that half-court set.
Tipped out of bounds by Caitlin Redmond, so Iowa will have the ball. 5 minutes to go. It's a 5-point game.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by the Capital One Cup. Learn more and check the standings at CapitalOneCup.com.
Back here in Spokane, Gonzaga jumps out with a 5-point lead here in the second half over Iowa, thanks to this player right here, Kayla Standish, their 6'2" junior, who's taking advantage of everything she can give and feeling out the D, uses her body so well. She's listed at 6'2". She plays like a guard so often. She can work it inside out. How about the defense? Her help side here. The blocked shot leads to a fast break opportunity. And never giving up on a play. crashing the offensive boards, gets the putback. She can do so many things so well.
She is 8 for 8 from the field in the second half. 16 of her 24 points in the second half. Does Iowa have an answer? They're down 5.
So much focus goes on a player like Courtney Vandersloot. Others have to step up for Gonzaga. They have 4 players that average double figures in scoring. Standish is one of those. She has been a difference maker. Her numbers in the second half, big time.
Caitlin Redmond with the foul just before on that play, and that is the 7th team foul against Gonzaga. It'll put Cash Alexander at the line, 1-1, and she hits the first. Cash Alexander with 10 points so far in the game.
Love her effort and what she's able to do. Actually, a double-double in this one for Cash Alexander. She just never gives up on any play, and she's at 5'9", just hanging out waiting for the rebound.
16 points, 10 assists. That was getting to her 10th double-double of the season. Standish, her first miss of the second half. But they get it back. And so does Kayla, who puts it in.
Standish from the state of Washington was a stellar track athlete. A high hurdler, actually, and she's got some hops.
Morgan Johnson back in the lineup with those 4 personal fouls. Just hit a big baseline shot. She went out with 12 minutes to go, so sat 8 minutes on the bench. Vandersloot draws contact. She'll get to the line for 2 free throws. Cash Alexander picking up her second.
Iowa, a completely different team with Morgan Johnson out there. I think it's a big plus that they were able to get her back out now with 4 minutes left. Courtney Vandersloot has been so aggressive in this one. Some of those fouls haven't gone her way. This time she gets to the free throw line.
Courtney Vandersloot has scored or assisted on almost 50% of every field goal made by Gonzaga this year. She's working on 27 points so far today. Make it 28.
It's a team that made it to the Sweet 16 last year. They lost to Xavier. They every single year have set a goal to try to go further and further.
Last 2 years playing across state in Seattle. Gonzaga has their home floor here, and they'd love to play on Monday. Walleen missing the jumper. Alexander, a nose for the rebound, finds Printy, who knocks down the 3.
The second effort from Iowa gave them that bucket right there. They didn't give up on the play, and Printy, what a quick release outside.
20 points for Jaime Printy. And answering on the other end is Caitlin Redmond on the drive. I am so impressed with Cash Alexander at 5'9", how she just seems to know where the ball's going to come off the glass of the rim.
And Mark, she credits the fact that she played volleyball and how you have to know where the ball is coming off and on each side of the net. She said that's a big reason why she can kind of feel out where it's going.
Another block for Gonzaga. Janelle Beckering knocks it out. 3:10 to go. Who will reach round 2? .310 to go in Spokane. A look at Jaime Printy. Iowa might need her 3-point shooting to get back in this one. The only brother-sister combination where they're both playing in the NCAA tournament. Jaime and her brother Jordan last night played for Indiana State. They had to go to a restaurant to watch his Sycamores play Syracuse.
Yeah, it was a tough outing against Syracuse, and she said she was nervous. Yesterday we talked to her. She was nervous for him, even more so than what she was going to have to do here today.
Both parents were in Cleveland last night. They tried to split up, but it was a little too cost prohibitive to get out to Spokane. Both are watching in a restaurant in Joliet, Illinois, on their way back home to Iowa.
And Printy with 20 points. She's got 4 threes.
And an unforced error by Iowa as Printy and Alexander were both in the same line. And she comes up hobbling a bit.
Yeah, miscommunication on that one. And it tweaked her ankle just a little bit as she was coming over, tried to stop herself. Cash Alexander was right there.
Stretching out that left ankle. 16 Iowa turnovers. That could be the biggest. Backdoor pass. Offensive board, though. Standish, the second half hero. And now Gonzaga will take a little time off as Courtney Vandersloot looks to her coach, Kelly Graves. Alexander knocks it out of bounds, and they'll say last touch by Gonzaga. Up next, stay tuned for the college basketball scoreboard. After that, most of you will then see UC Davis versus top-seeded Stanford as we continue our first-round coverage of the NCAA Women's Tournament. And don't forget, we will have UCLA and Montana here in Spokane for some of you, and all the games are available on ESPN3.com, which is always a great option. So off the turnover, the Hawkeyes down 4. Explosive move by Alexander.
And that's a move right there that Gonzaga's defense really hasn't had an answer for. And we've seen Kachine Alexander do that multiple times. The help side hasn't been able to drop down or stay off of her. She has such quickness with the ball in her hands.
Here's Standish. She has been the go-to player in the second half, and a big smile as she runs up court. 28 for Standish. Kayla Standish and Courtney Vandersloot each with 28. That's the spot where Morgan Johnson loves to set up. Welcome to Spokane, where Gonzaga has the ball in a 2-point lead, a back-and-forth contest. And Iowa with a chance to tie or take the lead. Kachine Alexander won't hit. And a foul against Alexander with 1:29 to go. Kayla Standish, 28 points, has been the story in the second half, Krista.
Almost perfect here in this second half. She uses the screen. She gets within her shooting range. Nothing but net. A player that's had 11 double-doubles this year had only had one her entire career.
That's been Standish and Vandersloot offensively for Gonzaga, winners of 18 in a row. They haven't lost since the Notre Dame game, December 29th. They feed Standish against Johnson. Off the window and in. She can't miss.
And Courtney Vandersloot knew it. You go to that go-to who has the hot hand.
And especially with Johnson covering with 4 fouls. Johnson can't play her too tough. They're trying to find Johnson. 12 in goal. Now setting a ball screen. Pick and roll. Johnson can't finish. And a big rebound with 50 seconds to go in a 2-possession game.
Mark, the help side D rotated over, and that did not allow Johnson to get down just a little bit closer to get a better angle.
They're going to have to foul. And Alexander fouls Vandersloot. That's Alexander's 4th. And Vandersloot, the all-everything for Gonzaga, will go to the free throw line with a chance to, at worst, max out a 2-possession game. Vandersloot a perfect 5 for 5 at the charity stripe. Knocks it down.
She averages 10 assists a game. She has 7 in this one. 5 turnovers, a little bit high for her, the player that leads the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio as well.
2 big free throws for Courtney Vandersloot, who along with Kayla Standish both have 30 points. Printy on the drive. Gets the quick 2 and a quick timeout called by Lisa Bluter. Check out our player of the game. It is presented by Capital One. And I think Kayla Standish with her second half effort, 22 of those 30 points in the second half.
You know, that's what Gonzaga didn't have in the first half. The usuals were getting it done as far as Courtney Vandersloot and a couple of their other main scorers. But they were lagging. They needed one other player to kind of step up and kick it up a notch. And Kayla Standish is that player.
We welcome everybody. Been watching games elsewhere with Crystal Blanc. I'm Mark Kestisher. Gonzaga playing on their home floor as an 11 seed here in Spokane, Washington. An 87-83 lead over Lisa Bluter and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Courtney Vandersloot and Kayla Standish have 30 points each, so 60 of the 87 for Gonzaga, as these two have gone back and forth this afternoon.
And if you're Iowa, there's not a lot of time left, but you're in this 2 possessions. You got to play as aggressively as you can, defensively try to get the stop. They don't, and now you got to foul.
And Courtney Vandersloot, the senior point guard, their leading scorer, leading assist person, led the nation in assists for the 2nd straight year. Helped lead the team to the Sweet 16 last year, and now hoping to lead the Bulldogs to the 2nd round. The #1 scoring team in the nation has topped that average. 86.5 coming in. They're at 88 right now for Kelly Graves Bulldogs.
We just can't praise this player enough. He said, I just try to get out of her way sometimes and not mess things up. This is such a composed team, and they're led by such a composed point guard.
32 for Vandersloot. Printy, they need a 3 here, and they get it from Jaime Printy. So Iowa now has a record 13 3-pointers to stay in the game, but Kayla Standish has been the second-half story for Gonzaga today.
She presents such a difficult matchup for Gonzaga because she can score from so many different areas. She can work it as a post. She has nice elevation. She can step out a little bit. So physical, uses her body well, and then defensively able to help off onto the guards, gets the block. That leads the team to what they like to do, and that is run. But she is everywhere. Second chance effort. She's so long. Gonzaga uses the length. But I like how she reads it. She feels out the D. She knows where she is. She knows when she's in her shooting range. And if she's not, she's capable of taking a couple of dribbles in.
30 points.
Of 20. Wow.
Amazing, and has only missed once in the second half. Let's take a look at the bracket. We're in the Spokane Regional. And the winner of this game will face either UCLA or Montana. That's our second game coming up. UCLA, the runner-up in the Pac-10, had a lead against Stanford in the final. And they'll face the Grizzlies, the Lady Grizz of Montana, who won the Big Sky as heavy underdogs. 3 straight in Portland to win that.
Well, Montana had a very up and down season, but they got on a roll at the right time.
Well, here's the story here. It's going to come down to free throw shooting. The shot clock is off. The good news is neither team's in the 2-shot bonus. Good news for Iowa, so we'll have a 1-and-1 if they foul right off the inbound. And Gonzaga in the second half has not missed at the line.
Well, they just barely went to the free throw line in the first half. They've been much more aggressive in getting themselves to the stripe. That was something in a big advantage for Iowa. 3-point shooting and free throws really helped them have the lead going in at halftime.
And the foul on Alexander is number 5. And will it be the end of the road for the senior guard from Minneapolis?
Such a fun player to watch. Over 1,000 points in her career. Last year, a career high in the tournament. They had to play at Stanford. She had 27 points in that one.
Just missed a triple-double to go with those 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. She had her 10th double-double of the season, 34 in her career, 1 shy of the school record in what may have been the final game for Kachine Alexander, but they'll need a free throw miss and a 3-point make. And Courtney Vandersloot's not missing. Not now.
Well, Mark, Kachine Alexander's the kind of player, when she was a youngster, her mother asked her what she wanted in her Easter basket. She said, I want a basketball. You know, she knew when she was little, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a basketball player. And even though she's 5'9", she does so many big things.
Vandersloot 11 for 11 from free throws. They need to take a shot quickly. Instead, they turn it over. And that'll just about do it. We'll see if they foul. They do. But it's academic at this point as they're on their feet in Spokane.
Lisa Bluter wanted a foul to go the other way earlier. She didn't get it. Instead, it goes Gonzaga's way. They had to get a shot, and it just didn't go their direction.
So the situation here, a 5-point game. 2 free throws would put it at or each. A miss or 2, and Iowa still needs a lot of help. With the clock down to 9.8. Janelle Beckering, a 74% free thrower. Splits, so 2-possession game. They need a quick 3. That's not going to help. Another turnover. And that'll do it. Gonzaga headed to round number 2. Courtney Vandersloot with 34 points. Kayla Standish had 30 points. And Kelly Graves' Bulldogs will play at least one more time on their home floor, knocking out the Iowa Hawkeyes. So our final score, Gonzaga 92, Iowa 86. For Chris DeBlanc, I'm Mark Kestisher. That'll do it for now from Spokane. Let's go to Krei Wingo in the studio.
Coach Graves, your team was down at halftime. You're not used to maybe being in that situation very often. What did you talk to them about?
Well, just that, I thought we missed some good shots. We had some good looks. We just had to toughen up the defense a little bit, but I'm really proud of us. We battled through it, and this was a great college basketball game today, Krista.
It was very back and forth. Somebody had to step up. For the second half, it was Kayla Standish. Yeah. What did she do differently? How were you able to get her open?
Well, she was a little bit more aggressive. She got in foul trouble in the first half, and so you can't score when you're sitting on the bench, but I was really impressed with how she came out, wanted the basketball, and the kids did a nice job of executing and getting it to her.
All right, Coach, thanks very much.
All right, thanks a lot, Krista.